The time is now 11 a.m. With the requisite quorum being present, I, Deepak Banerjee, Chairman of DIC India Limited, declare the 73rd Annual General Meeting open. At the outset, I welcome all of you to this meeting. I hope and pray for the well-being of everyone. This AGM is being held through audio-visual means, as we did in 2020, keeping in view the safety measures recommended under the COVID-19 guidelines. There is no physical venue for the meeting. May I have your permission to take the notice dated 3rd February 2021, convening the meeting as read. The Register of Directors shareholding was digitally available for inspection since the notice of AGM was issued. It is still open for inspection digitally and will remain open for inspection of the members throughout the duration of the meeting. Proxies are not allowed as per the regulations. Further, members are requested to log in with their credentials only. Members who have not registered themselves as speakers in advance can put their questions on the chat box appearing in their screen. The chat box will remain open up to 11:30 a.m. After responding to the shareholders' queries already received, we will provide opportunity to speak to members who have registered themselves as speakers in advance. I now wish to introduce the directors of your company. Mr. Paul Koch has been a non-executive director on the board since 2004. Mr. Koch is Regional Managing Director and CEO at DIC Asia Pacific Private Limited, the overseas promoter, and represents the promoter at DIC India Board. Dr. Reena Sen joined the board as an independent director in 2015. She is the chairperson of Nomination and Remuneration Committee and Corporate Social Responsibility Committee. Mr. Partho Mitra has been on the board as an independent director since February 2017 and is the chairman of the Audit Committee, Risk Management Committee, and Stakeholders Relationship Committee. Mr. Masahiro Kikuchi has been a non-executive director on the board since February 2018. He is Deputy Managing Director of DIC Asia Pacific Private Limited, the overseas promoter. Mr. Ho Yu Guan has been a non-executive director on the board since February 2018. He heads the internal audit function of DIC Asia Pacific region. Mr. Manish Bhatia, Managing Director and CEO, has been with the company since January 2019. Mr. Taishi Nojima joined the company as whole-time director on April 2019. Mrs. Pritha Dutt joined the company as an additional director independent on 6th of November 2020. Mr. Rajiv Anand joined the company as an additional director independent on 6th of November 2020. Mr. Probal Sarkar joined the company as an additional director independent on 6th of November 2020. Mr. Pritha Dutt, Mr. Rajiv Anand, and Mr. Probal Sarkar seek appointment in this AGM. We welcome them as valuable members of the board. Their profiles are included as part of the notice. As is evident, they bring varied expertise to the board, which will help the company in its future growth. Mr. Paul Koch retires by rotation and, being eligible, offers himself for reappointment. The year in retrospect, the performance of the company in 2020 has been detailed in the annual report. I wish to highlight two specific developments. First, we all know about the impact of COVID. We are meeting 9 months after our last AGM in June 2020. We discussed in our last AGM how India and the global economies were struggling with the impact of COVID. We also discussed how governments across the world were slowly opening up economic activities with revival packages to improve liquidity and boost demand. The positive impact of all such measures supported growth in our business, albeit moderately, from October 2020. Your company, with its multi-locational manufacturing and distribution footprint, supported by global sourcing, emerged as a reliable supplier to its customers. The company took all measures to keep the factories operating in a safe and efficient manner with fewer people. In India, the pandemic saw a delayed reopening of many printers and converters post the lockdown. Though all businesses were severely impacted from April 20 due to increased demand of packaged food items, the flexible packaging segment had a quicker recovery during the September quarter of 2020 and has stabilized to near pre-COVID levels. Other packaging segments have now recovered and are close to the pre-COVID levels. The pandemic caused a severe negative impact on the publication side of the printing industry. Newspaper publications have been badly hit, with demand declining by over 60% during the middle of 2020. There has been a revival of demand in the second half of 2020, especially during the festive period. However, this revival remains relatively muted and much lower than pre-COVID times. This segment, we think, will have a longer revival curve to reach pre-COVID levels. The year 2020 also saw severe disruptions in the supply chain, both in the domestic and global front. This has happened due to COVID, coupled with geopolitical tensions in the region. The revival has now slowed down again due to surge in COVID infections in many parts of the world in the last few months. I am happy to inform you that in spite of the uncertainties and the challenges thrown up by COVID, the company took several measures on safe management, digitization, cost control, improving operational efficiencies, introduction of new technology products, and driving value engineering. These measures enable the company to remain operational and profitable in this difficult period. Secondly, the company managed to conclude the sale of land at Chandibli in Mumbai. On June 18, 2020, the conveyance deed for sale was executed with Godrej Properties Limited, and the company received rupees 102.50 crores and an irrevocable bank guarantee amounting to rupees 17.50 crores from GPL towards the fixed consideration of rupees 120 crores. As per the conveyance deed, an additional consideration amounting to rupees 33 crores is contingent on achieving certain milestones. The company recognized a profit on sale of the above land amounting to rupees 97.6 crores on the fixed consideration of rupees 120 crore and has shown the same as an exceptional item in the results. As on date, there is no development on the additional consideration of rupees 33 crore. The proceeds from this sale will be utilized by the company for improving manufacturing infrastructure, including the setting up of a new state-of-the-art manufacturing facility at Bharuch in Gujarat. The board recommends a dividend of rupees 6 per share, which is 60%, for the year 2020 for your approval. The same shall be remitted after the resolution is approved by this AGM. The current year dividend is 33% higher than the dividend declared last year, which was at rupees 4.50 per share. The current economic scenario shows that the economy started showing signs of recovery from the quarter ending December 20, with easing of restrictions related to COVID pandemic by the government in India. The government also came up with large economic relief packages which supported the recovery process. The massive vaccination drive for the COVID-19 developed in India will help reduce the seriousness of the COVID-19 and help provide business confidence for investment and growth. The recent announcement of the Production Linked Incentives, commonly known as PLI, scheme for certain sectors is a welcome step towards a better economic growth. With interest level being low and adequate liquidity in the economy, we can expect a quantum jump in GDP with more participation from the private sector. The concern, however, remains on surge in COVID infections, as is evident in certain parts of the country currently, and the increase in level of inflation consequent to increase in petro-based raw material prices. A word on the future outlook. Let me touch upon the key initiatives taken by DIC as a group. DIC have a sustainability index through which we also support our customers on their social responsibility and economic improvement with our multiple high quality product and services which we provide at an optimal cost while ensuring minimal negative impact on the environment. We at DIC are circular economy for flexible packaging and hence have products which support sustainable packaging. While the pandemic challenge prevails, we have adjusted to the new normal of the business landscape. We have embraced digitization in many business processes during the lockdown and will further scale up in other areas. The company is facing challenge with continuous increase in raw material prices due to surge in petroleum prices and global shortage of major raw materials, as many plants have gone for shutdown. Management is continuously reviewing the current raw material scenario and taking necessary required actions. The management is confident that the company will be able to improve on its performance in the months to come. For the full year 2021, the company expects to remain profitable in spite of challenges mentioned above. A word on the CSR activity. The company utilized the full CSR corpus and spent rupees 14.5 lakhs towards CSR activities. As a part of DIC Group's corporate social responsibility, the company actively participated in CSR initiative driven by DIC Asia Pacific Private Limited, engaging all the DIC entities in Asia Pacific region to distribute DIC Care Packs to Corona warriors who are supporting society by their noble service in these challenging times of pandemic. In India, the company's CSR team engaged with Corona warriors, i.e. health departments, local administration at district levels in various cities like NCR, Ahmedabad, Kolkata and Bengaluru to provide them personal protective equipment kits to support them in the noble cause. Total 5,000 PPE kits were distributed through CSI initiative at DIC, India. On behalf of the board, I take the opportunity to thank all the members, customers, value chain partners, and all other stakeholders for their continued and lasting support and faith in the company. A special thanks to the NSDL team for facilitating this AGM through audiovisual means. I also thank the employees of the company at all levels for their support and continuing efforts during the difficult times in 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, please note that pursuant to the applicable provisions of the Companies Act 2013 and the recent circulars issued in this regard, a soft copy of the annual reports has been provided by electronic mode to members whose shareholding is in dematerialized mode and whose email IDs are registered with the depository for communication purposes. Shareholders not covered above and who subsequently requested for annual report have been furnished with a copy. Since the reports and accounts have been with you for some time, with your consent, I'll take them as read. Further, there being no qualification, may I take the audit reports as noted. Before I invite you to put your questions or make observations, let me elaborate a little on the process of conduct of today's meeting. The voting shall be in two phases by electronic mode. The first phase of the electronic voting, which is known as e-voting, window was opened from 9 a.m. on the March 16, 2021 till 5 p.m. of March 18, 2021. The second phase of e-voting shall happen today. Members who have not voted earlier and who are present can vote at the e-voting option appearing in the portal through which you logged into this meeting. Members who have already cast their vote should refrain from voting again. The number of members voting in favor or against the resolution electronically in first phase will be consolidated with the number of members voting electronically today in the second phase to arrive at the final result. I now put the following matters under consideration for voting in terms of Section 108 of the Companies Act 2013. You may please refer to the agenda items in the notice which contains the details as I read out. 1. To consider and adopt the financial statements of the company for the financial year ended December 31, 2020 and the reports of the Board of Directors and the auditors thereon. Number 2, to declare dividend of ₹6 per equity share for the financial year ended December 31, 2020. Item number 3, to appoint a director in place of Mr. Paul Koch, who retires by rotation and being eligible offers himself for re-election. Item number 4, to consider appointment of Mr. Rajiv Anand as non-executive independent director. Item number 5, to consider appointment of Mr. Probal Kumar Sarkar as non-executive independent director. Item number 6, to consider appointment of Mrs. Preetha Dutt as non-executive independent director. Item number 7 is for ratification of remuneration of cost auditors. I now declare the voting open. The voting window will remain open till 12 noon, within which you should cast your e-vote. The result of the consolidated voting will be scrutinized by representatives of Messrs. T. Chatterjee and Associates, company secretaries in practice, who have been appointed as the scrutinizer for the meeting. Further, the company secretary will liaise with the scrutinizer and ensure results of the voting and other details thereof are posted on the website of the company at www.dicindialtd.co and also be intimated to the stock exchange within 48 hours. The resolution set forth in the notice would be deemed to be passed today, subject to receipt of requisite number of votes in favor. The meeting is now open for your questions or observations. Since the meeting is held through audio-visual means, we will be taking questions in the following order. We will first address questions already asked by shareholders through email. We will then take questions from the shareholders who have already registered to speak. Finally, we will address questions asked through the chat box. I would request you not to raise questions which an earlier speaker has already raised. The only observation we had on the questions is from Mr. Kundu, from Mr. Anindo Kundu. Most of his comments are complimentary. He just wanted to know whether the share price movement that has happened in the last few weeks is arising out of anything particularly related to the company. There is no such information available with the company. The share prices have moved, I suppose, in line with what the market is doing. So we don't have any other comments on that. I'll now go to shareholders who have registered to speak. The first speaker on the list is Mr. Manoj Bagadia. So will the host please unmute Mr. Bagadia?
Raghav, you're muted.
Yes, sir. I'm going to make Mr. Bagadia as a panelist with a request that keep the questions brief because we have a great panelist to ask questions. Now I'm making him panelist. He can open his video also. Mr. Bagadia?
Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Sir, I'll be very brief. First of all, if you look at the performance in last decade, it's not inspiring. I mean, somehow if you see, except couple of years, the performance has not been inspiring. So just wanted to understand what has happened in last decade and what are our plans to change those performance parameters, whatever we had performed in past, and what are we looking at in next coming 5-10 years. And it's very heartening to know that we are spending 100 crores for the new plant, which is a significant capex after a long time. So if you can just talk about which products will be made there, what would be the capacity, and what are the internal benchmarks that we follow in terms of the payback or ROC kind of a thing. Third thing is if you can just talk about the total size of the market, Indian market right now, what has been the growth potential and our volume and value, whatever we have in the different products. Fourth one is, sir, if you can just give some breakup on the packaging ink as well as the publishing ink, because publishing seems to have a lot of challenges and looks like that will take a long time to recover and may not recover fully probably going forward, looking at the digital way of doing things. And what kind of growth do you expect in the packaging inks? And what are our plans to make Flexo inks in India? Because Flexo has gained significant momentum in many countries, including Australia and a lot of other countries actually. So if you can just talk about those. What is the current capacity utilization of our various plants? And we have some of the very old plants. Are we looking at reorganizing some of the old inefficient loss-making plants? Because post-COVID, a lot of companies are changing business model, reorganizing their manufacturing setup, looking at cost structure very seriously. So COVID has given an opportunity and just I wanted to understand what are our plans for that. One thing you mentioned about raw material prices. I mean, there has been a significant up move in the raw material prices. So what are our plans to tackle that, and how long does it take to pass on it to pass it on to the customer in terms of the finished product pricing? Because the markets are very, very competitive. So I'm not sure what is the strategy to pass on those cost increases. And is this a sustainable raw material cost increase we are seeing, or this could be a temporary phenomenon? What are our cost savings that we have done since COVID, like most of the other corporates, and how much of that would be sustainable in the longer term? If you look at the parents' product portfolio, they have a much wider basket in terms of including pigments, polymers, inks, and everything. And they are reorienting themselves towards a lot of new kind of products for electronics, automotive, and healthcare segments. Also, they have done digital transformation in a significant way. So, what are we going to see any significant transformation in the Indian company? And do you foresee any other product line coming to this listed company apart from the printing inks? Because even in the printing inks for exports, I mean, they have a 100% subsidiary. So I'm not sure what is their outlook in terms of the Indian listed entity and their growth outlook. And last one is, sir, 2015, we had the highest PBT of, I think, 40 crores. How long does it take or will it take to cross those benchmarks in future? And last one is, if you look at most of the companies in Indian corporate sector, including MNCs, they have created significant value for the stakeholders. Unfortunately, in our case, we have not seen significant value. So I hope there is a focus, there is a understanding that probably we have not created value and we'll do the right things, which will in turn create a significant shareholder value. Hope for that. Thank you very much for the opportunity again.
Thank you, Mr. Bagadia. The next speaker on the list is Mr. Amit Kumar Banerjee. Host, will you please unmute him?
Mr. Banerjee, can you hear? Mr. Amit Kumar Banerjee?
Yes, we can hear you.
So, sir, this is Raghav Shukla. Mr. Banerjee, can you, 1 second. Mr. Amit Banerjee? You are mute. Mr. Amit Banerjee, can you speak? Can you get?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm audible, sir.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yes, Mr. Banerjee, go on.
Yes. Good morning to everyone. My name
Morning.
is Amit Kumar Banerjee from the city of Calcutta. Respected chairman of the meeting, thanks for giving me an opportunity to speak such a wonderful meeting today organized by our company DIC India Limited. Our company's meeting is now video conferencing. It is our 73rd annual general meeting of the company ending 31st December 2020. Our company, DIC, basically operating as paper sector, basically for printing inks, lamination, adhesive, and publications like that. Sir, as regards the performance is concerned during the year as visible, it is found that the net profit of our company during this year is about 86 crores of rupees, though of course in comparison to the last year it was only 18 crores. EPA is also up 93.58. Last year it was 20.10. Yes, our company made dividend at the rate 6 rupees. CSR activity also made, and for the welfare measures about 10.11 lakhs of rupees. It's a very good measures over there. Sir, I have a feeling to ask some queries about, sir, what is our current debt equity ratio? About what is our return on capital employed for last 3 years? What is the return on equity for the past 3 years? And what is about the current expenditure plan? Kindly share your views for forthcoming next 2 years. As far as I know, about the first quarter results, total income made about 193.11 crores. Total, it was reported down by 13.70% from last year, same quarter. Kindly share about on these points of views. Sir, I would also like to know about sustainable growth of business. Try to throw some lights. I hope our management team will improve necessary transparency at all levels with better prospect year ahead, keeping definitely the shareholders rewarding policy. I thank to all team members such smooth conducting video conferencing today. Sir, for further proceedings, over to you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. My name is Amit Kumar Banerjee.
Thank you, Mr. Banerjee. The next speaker is Mr. Anindo Kundu.
I'm doing, sir.
Mr. Kundu.
1 second. Making panelist. Why? Why?
Is he unmuted?
One second. The technical team of NSDL, I'll request you to help. I think the panelist making option for Mr. Kundu is not appearing. And sir, in the meanwhile, I'll request if we can ask for the next.
Okay. The next person listed here is Mr. Taraknath Chakraborty.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Can you unmute Mr. Chakraborty then?
Yes, Mr. Chakravarti, Mr. Taraknath Chakravarti, you are unmuted and you can speak now.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Chakraborty.
Yes. Already I speaking now,
Okay.
but very problem your transparency of website. I first of all thanks our company chairman. Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir. First of all, I thanks our company chairman and arrange the 2021 company VC basis AGM 73rd company annual report. I already website is too much difficult. Pandemic time are past. Now I know understand, sir. Already day after day is normal. The lifestyle of minority or public segments take. But SEBI and all our NSDL company board of directors are already accepted the DCR 21 issue of VC basis. I know understand, but actually the VC basis meeting organized is AGM too much difficult. In fact, of reason of that, the physical meeting and virtual meeting is too much different thing. But now already we are accepted the proper pandemic time of this position. But my one thing point, sir, DIC is the oldest gold company not only in Calcutta, all over India, and oldest gold company. This year company arranged a 6 rupees per equity dividend declared the minority shareholder. I personally felicitation our company management team. But now company is a accounting standard is a very doubtful, and I several time I tried to conduct our company CFO of Noida. But he is no response my phone attending this time. I am very sad. And now I try to make after AGM and try to is spend the time. I discussion to the company accounting all our last accounting position in my hand. I tell it, but I am not satisfied your accounting measuring. But company try to make the all our timing the proper helping the minority shareholder, and I request at least Mr. Company Secretary Mr. Shuklaji is tied to my contact in my number, and I discussion to the physical face to face is all are declare and all are no conduct to the over talk to telephone. I request at least management team one upon a time is spend this discussion with my company, all our segment accounting and other thing point. I am very sorry, sir. I am not satisfied your accounting standard, and not only that, the website are clear is company accounting proper scrutining and total reply the AGM is very much difficult. But mobile is a very short machine. But long time is company 200 page are scrutinizing this machine is absurd matters. So I request at least 2019-20 and 21-20 is company arrange the speaker, senior speaker. I am a senior speaker in Calcutta. Already my previous speaker, Mr. Amit Banerjee, he is a senior speaker in Calcutta. Already I tried to make both are joining the attending the company the CFO or CEO the discussion our company all this. I thank I know linger time request. I thanks all our member. I thanks NSDL arrange the visual and all. I thanks to Raghav Shukla, our company secretary, managing director team, and our arrange the virtual WebEx complex. Thank you, patient sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chakraborty. The next speaker is Mr. Dinesh Kotecha.
One second, sir. Sir, before we go to Mr. Koteja, Mr. Kundu is not able to join because he has connectivity issue. He has expressed his thanks to the chair. Then we are coming to Mr. Koteja. Mr. Koteja has requested, but he has not attended as an attendee. So we will not be able to make him speak.
Okay.
Yes, he's there. He's there, sir. 1 second, sir. He'll just come. I am allowing him to speak. Mr. Kotecha. Mr. Dinesh Kotecha.
Yeah, can you hear my voice?
Yes, we can.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. I am
morning.
Dinesh Kotecha from Bombay. Sir, I am very happy with the results, but there are some few questions which I have to ask on the balance sheet, sir. Sir, dividends is being paid 60% after 2 years of no dividends. And what I find is that our dividend which you have paid is hardly 6.41% payout as against 22.38% payout last year, sir, when you paid 4 rupees 50 paise. Now if you make the same payout of 22.38 rupees, 38% of the profit of the current year, we should have got a dividend of 20 rupees, not less than that. I mean, please see to it that the dividend policy is properly paid. Is followed, because net worth of the company has gone up from 325 rupees to 413 rupees. And there is what I would like to know is that please have a relook at the dividend policy. Because in the last 10 years, we have earned the maximum profits this year of 85.95 crores. Sir, what I find another thing in the balance sheet is we are not following a symmetrical pattern for the amount. Somewhere you are writing millions, somewhere you are writing lakhs, somewhere you are writing the full amount. It should not be that way, sir. Sir, page 5 of the report, brief DIC in brief, vision, mission, core values are given. But and you should have also mentioned the responsibility towards minority shareholders as one of the company's policy. You are setting new benchmarks, surpassing old milestones. We are very happy about it. Sir, new products, processes, applications, and improving an existing technology. I would like to know how many new products are in the process now, right now. How many new products are there? And I am very happy about page number 111, Sustainable Development Goals. Nicely explained, sir. About the people's, and page number 16. Sorry, page number 14 and 16. Our TIRR has reduced from 2.19 to 1.01. That is very good. And also the injury rate has come down from 5.68 to 2.51. Great improvement, sir. Sir, I would like to know, basically, now our R&D expenses is 6.5 crores, 50 crores on page number 62. It is 1.06% of turnover. I would like to know what is the maximum planned amount of the amount or percentage of R&D for 2021. Sir, I would also like you to give us one page of description of DIC Japan, our parent company, on the very first page. The activities, their position, and how many countries they are there, how many collaborations they are having all over the world, what is their strength. DIC Japan, so one page description should be given on the first page, sir. And sir, I mean, again, I would like to know basically that what is the capex for the current year? I would like to know that, our capex for the current year. Since I would like all the independent directors on the board, please be very clear that in the last 10 years summary, you have paid dividends only for 5 years. 5 years dividend we have skipped, or due to our losses or whatever reasons. Those must be compensated now by a one-time dividend of 20 rupees or 25 rupees. Then only we will be satisfied as minority shareholders. Independent directors, please note this. In your meetings, you must discuss this properly with the board. and I wish you all the best. I'm very happy with the working as a company. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Korecha. The next speaker is Mr. Joydeep Bakshi.
Yes, sir. Give me a moment, sir. I am checking. Joydeep Bakshi. Mr. Bakshi, you can speak.
Good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes. Good morning, Chairman and Board of Directors. Myself, Joydeep Bakshi, connecting from the city of Kolkata. Thanks to our Company Secretary, Mr. Raghav Shukla, for giving me an opportunity to express my views, and also to other members for conducting of this nice video conference. So, our India's industrial sector, everywhere the economic crisis we are passing. So, how we are planning to overcome this situation? So, kindly throw some highlights on the foreign exchange earning and outgo. What is our present order book positions? And as the India is going towards digitalization in all spheres, how it is going to affect our business? So, what is the status of payments dues pending right now? And what are our future plans and the capex program for the coming years, and also our spending on the R&D? So, how are we planning to fight against the raw material cost surge, which is happening at the moment? Regarding our Bharuch plant, which is coming up, can you throw some more highlights on this? And any new products in the pipeline for the coming years? So we have to adapt ourselves to the new normal situations, and we have to take necessary measures, including the cost-cutting measures like that. And thanks for the company for contribution to the CSR activities of around 14.5 lakhs. It is a good initiative. So nothing to add more. Best wishes to the company and this management and the whole team, and better results in the coming years, and create more shareholders value. Thank you all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Bakshi. The next speaker is Mr. Sarbanand Ghatani.
Give me a moment, sir. I am making.
Hello, just a moment, sir.
Yes, Mr. Ghatani.
Good morning, sir. It is still 11:40. Nice meeting you after a year, sir. Company has done well, but still I have got some queries, sir. My first query goes, sir. Post-COVID and pre-COVID, have we decreased our staff? We increased our staff, and what is the reason, sir? Second, my query is, I have been, normally I have attended about 150 to 200 AGMs, and I am slotted a speaker number by the Secretarial Department. But here I have not been given. I have been waiting for everyone to speak. I don't know how many speakers are there, 20 or 25. And this is the first company that is doing so. And we don't have a helpline where I can call the company secretary or anyone. Other companies, even Tata Steel, and you were on the board of many Tata Group companies, they make a WhatsApp group of all the speakers. They tell me the Tata Global Beverages did that. I spoke in Britannia. They called up us continuously. कि Mr. Ghatani, इस तरह आपको लॉगिन करना है एंड ये और आपका स्पीकर नंबर ये रहेगा और आपके पहले ये बंदा बोलेगा. So we are mentally prepared. Otherwise, right now I am sitting for 1 hour and waiting for my turn. I don't know when my turn will come. I request this sort of thing to be, discrepancies to be, and we need a number of the company where we can talk at least. कि भाई मेरा speaker number बताओ. Whether it is secretary or deputy secretary or the PO, but who handles the secretarial part. At least our time is also costly, sir. Others are being paid for that. We are not. And now coming to the account point, all are satisfactory. Everyone is complimenting. But I still have some suggestion and queries for the betterment of the company. The total income of the company is 615 crore against 804 crore, sir. The rounding of part is, it has decreased by 23.44%. What is the reason, sir? I would like to know. Declaring a higher dividend is not everything, sir. We need why the sales has dropped. My second query goes, sir. there are no Indian promoters, sir. 71.75% is held by the foreign promoter. So are you thinking anything about it, sir? About the Indian part? Or will it still be continued to be holding by the Japanese company most probably? Because I am seeing a lot of directors and I have been attending your AGM for the last 20 years most probably. So I would like to know why our Indian promoters are not there or anything. A third thing I find surprising, sir, our export has fallen down. What is the reason? 53.10 crore against 63.78 crore. What our management is doing, sir. So I don't want to elaborate it further. I can go into the nitty-gritty of things, but I'm not very happy. Why our export has dropped? I would like to know, sir. Unpaid statutory dues is 7.78 crore as on March. What is the present position? I would like to know, sir. What are our capex plan and how we are going to, in 1 year down the lane, how we will do better? I would like to know, sir, what is in your mind for the next 1 year. And another thing, I request you, let your company secretarial department send us quarterly result. I get from Imami, I get from Magma, I get from all the Tata Group, from Britannia, everyone sends us quarterly result by email. But DIC is still to do that. I'd like to know. And at least we need a person, even a peon who can say, jo thoda bahut secretarial janta hai. If the company secretary or CFO are busy person, let them be busy. Or you keep a deputy secretary for us, sir. At least we can transact. Someone, Tarakda also, a senior speaker just told. He wanted to confirm something from the company, but he could not. I wanted to know my serial number only, but I was unable to. And I got the mail yesterday. Thank you very much, sir. Best of luck for the next year, for the next quarter results, sir. And I hope I get it in my email. I've got 7 or 8 folios in my name, my wife's name, my son and daughter. We all are shareholder of DIC, sir. I request you to start that. At least the practice starts, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Gadani. The final speaker is Mr. Mullik. Mr. Kashmir Lal Mullik.
Yes, sir. 1 second, sir. Mr. Murli, you are unmuted, you can speak.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes. Yes, Mr. Mullik, we can hear you.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can.
Sir, very good morning, sir. Very good morning to everybody.
Good morning. Good morning.
Myself, Kashmir Lal Mullik, an equity shareholder of DIC India Limited. At the outset, I wish to congratulate the chairman, Mr. Deepak Kumar Banerjee, the MD and CEO, Mr. Monish Bhatia, and all the directors and full DIC team, DIC India team, DIC India Limited team, for maintaining recommendable performance throughout the year. In spite of threat of pandemic situation, I wish to thank Mr. Venkatesan Iyengar, who helped me so much by arranging me to send the notices, account report, though he is staying at Chennai, far from here, and in spite of his personal distress, I thank him again. Thanks go to CB management team for their constant cooperation, helping throughout the year. I wish to thank the management team to combat the COVID situation so efficiently and innovating new normal situations by adopting one DIC team, DIC RISE, telecommunicating, and living our values. I feel proud to be a member of one of the largest company in the printing, publishing, and packing industry in India, having wide and versatile ink product range, flexible packing and adhesive. I appreciate company's sustainability policy to maintain sustainable development goal, presently much talked as SDG. We notice that due to pandemic situation, sales lowered by 24% to rupees 6061 million, turnover of printing ink lowered by again 24% to rupees 5491 million, adhesive segment lowered growth of 6% at rupees 569 million. But then we notice company sold their Mumbai property and made a huge exceptional and comprehensive gain and reported profit of rupees 976.2 million. Earning per share jumped from 20102 to rupees 93.58. We want to know what is the reason for such slump sell? Was it necessary? We congratulate all the three foreign promoters, directors, namely Mr. M. Kikuchu, Mr. Francis Ho, and Mr. P. Kyok for not taking any remuneration from the company in exchange of their valuable advices. Thank you, sirs. Foreign promoting stake is 91.75%. Why there is no Indian industrialists are coming forward? Did you ever approach them? Sir, for waste recovery, we noticed that company have installed solvent recovery plant and thus company recovered 90% of waste. But if you think in the other way, why the management, production management allowed such a alarming process weights of 97.1 tons? Why the production management cannot arrest the waste during the process? This is simply a loss of energies. First time company incurring energies loss in waste making, and then again lost energies to recover the same waste. Please think about it. Sir, are you listening to me, sir?
Yes, go on.
I
Mr. Murli.
observed in page number 33, Mr. Manish Bhatia, MD and CEO, whose attendance in the board meeting is 86%. I want to know why the board meeting was called when the main person concerned like MD and CEO was not available. I think management will come with better result next year and arrange to make physical AGM. Thank you, sir. Give me a patient hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Mullik. I think that completes the list of speakers. So we can now start answering one by one. We'll try and cover whatever we can. If there is still something which any speaker feels has not been answered, he can please contact the company secretary and I'm sure he will provide the necessary answer. To start with, first, Mr. Bagaria, you have made very pertinent points, and you have said, future products, etc. As I said in my opening remarks, that DIC is constantly trying to improve products and bring to the market products which are environmentally friendly. And therefore, there will be new product offerings which will be made even in the Indian market. The details of which, obviously, this is not the forum to share, but you will see very many new products coming up in the days and the months to come. The publishing has been one of the main segments for the DIC India. And the publishing business, as I said in my opening remarks, has been hit very badly because of COVID. And the demand for newspapers came down by something like 60% at the middle of 2020. So that has affected the performance. our share in the various segments varies. I mean, it varies between 5 and 25%. But packaging side is obviously a developing market, and publishing may not be developing at that rate. As you rightly said, that the publishing business all over the world in newspapers, etc., because they are going digital, the print media share is probably static to decline, and which probably will happen in India later than sooner. Flexo, the company is very much engaged in getting into the Flexo market, and we already have products for the flexible market. The capacity utilization for our plants vary, but they are between 75 and 80% mostly. As I said again in my opening remarks, that the proceeds of sale of a Mumbai land will be used primarily to improve manufacturing infrastructure, which will include not only coming up with new facility, as I said, in Bharuch, but also improving the existing facility that we have in our existing plants. The raw material cost is an issue which you have rightly pointed out, and everybody recognizes that. Management is quite conscious of it, and we have been constantly trying to do R&D work with raw material and inputs to make sure that the raw material cost can be kept within certain controls. It is not easy to pass on the product, the cost in the increase in the product immediately to the consumer. Because as you rightly said, this depends on how much the competition does, and so it will depend on the market forces. But obviously, some costs will have to be passed on. The product improvement, as I said, is a continuous effort and is constantly going on. Whether the company will have new businesses, as you know, this is part of a multinational group of DIC Japan, and obviously the group as a whole will take certain view as to how they want to run a particular company, in what product line that company should concentrate, and that is a group decision, which obviously this company will follow. PBT of 40 crores, how soon one can reach? Obviously, management would like to reach it the soonest, but it's not entirely in our hands, particularly in the current situation where every other day you are facing some lockdown or the other. It is that much more difficult. But you are right, we are conscious of it, and we'll try and achieve as best as we can. I think current year's performance is a case in point, because despite all the problems that is faced by industry in general, and despite the top line taking a hit, the company has turned in a reasonably good performance at the bottom line. Moving on to Mr. Banerjee, you have talked about debt equity. Right now, as we speak, the company is basically debt free. So therefore, debt equity as of now is not an issue. As far as the capex is concerned, we have said that it will be the proceeds from sale will be utilized in capital expenditure. The first quarter results, you made some comment. I'm not quite sure what that was, because first quarter is not yet over for this company. It will come on 31st of March. And therefore, whenever that happens, I'm sure the company will give the comparative results in comparison with this same period previous year. Mr. Kundu's questions we already had taken. He had said it earlier. Mr. Chakraborty, I'm sorry that you were not able to get the proper responses from CFO. I'm requesting the CFO to contact you, and I'm sure between him and the company secretary, you can set up a time and talk through whatever queries you have. I can assure you that whatever the company is following in terms of presentation of his accounts is completely done in accordance with the regulations, and they are audited by the external auditors. So to that extent, you can be rest assured that it's all fine. But if you still have suggestions which can improve the matters, then by all means, convey them to the CFO, and I'm sure Mr. Chatterjee will find time for you. Mr. Kotecha, you made a point about the dividend. As you can see, dividend is 33% higher than last year, and you consider dividend to be low. I think the point that you are coming from is probably justified, that it's a payout ratio you're looking at. But as I just mentioned in my opening remarks, that the company is going for massive capital expenditure next year, and therefore, the dividend that was declared is keeping that in mind. And going forward, I'm sure as matters turn out, the board, in their wisdom, will decide appropriate dividend payout going forward. You have made a lot of suggestions. One of the suggestions is that a description of DIC Japan as a one-pager. We take note of it, and I'm sure management will look at it as to whether that can be done. It's a good idea, so let's see how we can do. You asked for the capex again. As I said, that capex this year would be quite sizable compared to what we have done in the past, because we need to upgrade facilities and come up with new generation products. Mr. Bakshi, you have talked about very rightly as to how to overcome the current situation. And as I mentioned earlier, that this company has tried to observe all the safety regulations, but still keep running, because I think this is one of the companies which did not quite shut down even when there was lockdown, because we could maintain the necessary safety regulations and observance. And therefore, we have tried to overcome the situation as best as we can. And despite all these troubles, to turn out a positive. R&D is something where the company is very much involved in. Particularly, they're forced into it by the raw material cost surge arising out of the petroleum prices and shutdown of factories. So R&D is constantly going on, both here and in conjunction with the group. So as a part of the benefit of being a part of the multinational, you get knowledge even from R&D activities which take place elsewhere in the world. So this is very much on the table of the management to take forward. Mr. Ghatani, thanks for your comments. I think your suggestion of being told as to what your number on the list of speakers is a good one, and I'm sure the company secretary will take note of it. And next time before the AGM, I would request that you are informed as to where in the pecking order you will come, because we all recognize that you have been attending these meetings and you make very useful suggestions. So we are all conscious of that. You have made a comment about this Japanese company and why no Indian promoters. I think this. If you're a multinational company, then you have your own way of operating. Now, whether it is true just not for DIC, even other multinationals who operate in the country, they will not find too many Indian promoters in them. And because I think if Indian promoters come, they would also like to own the company or things like that. So I don't think it's unusual as to why Indian promoters are not there when there is a very big foreign promoter already in the company. The other thing, you have talked about exports, why they're going down. Well, part of the exports went down because of, geopolitical situation, because sometimes you are not allowed to export to certain countries because of various considerations. I don't want to get into that. That's part of the reason why the exports are down. You have talked about quarterly results being shared with you over email. I think that's something which I'll request the company secretary to look at. And if possible, I'm sure they will do it. Coming to Mr. Mollik. Mr. Mollik, it's very nice of you to compliment Mr. Venkat, and I shall pass on the sentiments expressed by you to him. You also have made a comment about the Indian promoter, which I have covered in my earlier response. You have also made a very good suggestion on waste management, and I'm sure the management will take note of it. And whatever best can be done will be done. And I think zero waste is the target that the company is working towards. I'm not committing by which date it will happen, but that's something which is on our radar. We have now received a few queries through the chat box. Again, Mrs. Rekha Bhatia has asked for the dividend thing, and I have already clarified that yes, there has been sales proceeds which received from sale of land, but that money is being reutilized in putting up fresh facilities. Then there is one from Mr. Vora saying that returns for the last 10 years has not been very encouraging, and can the company make it more rewarding for us? I'm sure that will happen as we go along. The board will at some stage decide whatever dividend they can pay within their capacity. Then Mr. Garg has raised some questions as to what is the capacity utilization. Our capacity utilization, as I mentioned earlier, is between 75 and 80%. And how much revenues can we generate in full capacity utilization? As you will appreciate, Mr. Garg, that capacity utilization is not something which can be pushed at will, because you can produce 100% capacity, but you should be able to sell them, because if you can't sell them, then producing at 100% may not make too much sense. So capacity utilization is a dynamic factor which depends on the market situation, the product offerings, and the market demand. So it's a combination of all that. So it is not something where there is a gaping demand in the market and people are just waiting for some products to come. That's not the case. Let me see if there is any other. I think that covers all the questions that have been raised. With the business of this 73rd Annual General Meeting having been transacted, I wish to declare the meeting concluded. However, on a very personal note, I would like to mention that this is the last AGM for me and Dr. Sen. We wish to thank all the shareholders and employees for their valuable suggestions and advice over the years. We wish you all the very best in the days to come. I will now request Raghav Shukla, the Company Secretary, to make sure that the results of the voting are concluded and they are published within the next 48 hours. Thank you all. That concludes the meeting.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks for your guidance and taking us ahead. With your permission, may I request the Regional Managing Director, Mr. Paul Coe, to speak a few words and enlighten us about your journey with us. It's a little emotional moment for all of us. So, Paul.
Thank you very much, Raghav. A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy to be having this privilege to address all of you today. As you are aware, both Mr. Deepak Banerjee and Dr. Reina Sen will soon be retiring from the board. Mr. Banerjee joined the board on the 8th of March 2001 and has served on many of our board committees. When I joined the board, Mr. Banerjee was the chairman of the audit committee. And on 1st of May 2017, he succeeded to be our chairman of our company. Personally, his tenure with DIC India has been a good learning experience for me. We have interacted closely on many occasions on both issues and opportunities faced by your company during the years. The vision he brought to the organization was amazing and helped shape us to be what we are today. His rich experience and strategic views coupled with an eye for perfection, always kept us on course and management on their toes. Mr. Banerjee brought stewardship, effective control, and most of all, professionalism to our organization. He has always been frank, always to the point, and at times very stern, but always being a professional he is, he drove success. In our discussions, he will always give us options to consider and at times a different perspective. Even today, I'm personally motivated as I see Mr. Banerjee keeping himself updated with the current situations and his great desire to keep on learning. I guess that is his secret to keeping young. As a result of this, I've introduced continuous learning as a pillar in our Asia Pacific region. Mr. Banerjee, on behalf of the group and members of the board of DIC India Limited, I want to put on record our sincere appreciation for your exceptional contribution and thank you once again for being with us in this memorable journey, one that lasted 20 years. I will always cherish this. We all pray for your good health and wish you a happy retirement. Stay safe, stay well. We will all miss you.
Thank you very much, Paul. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And Dr. Sen, you joined the board as our first lady member on the 4th of February 2015. I remember that date. And you brought diversity in an all-men's board. You broke that chain. And I'm so happy for that. Dr. Sen has been a great support to the board and company. She shared with us her rich experience and expertise on matters related to environment, public health and safety, and has guided the CSR activities in our company. As chairman of the NRC, she brought in the diversity perspective, and we are greatly indebted to her for this, and have learned a new perspective in grooming and evaluating talent in our organization. On behalf of the board, I would like to wish her a healthy life and the ability to carry on the huge responsibility which she has undertaken for the differently abled children in her institute. On behalf of the group and members of the board of DIC India, I want to put on record our sincere appreciation for the journey you shared with us. Dr. Sen, we pray for your good health going forward and happiness and success in all your future endeavors. Thank you very much, Mr. Banerjee and Dr. Sen.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, sir, with this, the meeting is over. The voting time is also over. So, meeting is over. In due course, we will be publishing the results through various channels. Thank you very much again to everyone.
Thank you.